Hi everyone and welcome back to Newegg TV. My name is Paul and today we're going to be doing an unboxing and overview of the Sente Burton Extreme Division computer chassis. First off, let's do a quick rundown of what they have listed on the box. They have a unique cooling solution for their video cards with a couple fans that go right over there. They've included 6 cooling fans already for ventilation. They have a toolbox that's included as well, which I'll show once we get into the case. Some top panel controls also at the front. They've incorporated a card reader that's already built in. They have 4 USB audio mic eSATA and native eSATA on the front of the case in that control panel, cable management system, and removable hard drive bays. This is a full tower computer case. It is made of rolled steel. It supports motherboard sizes eATX, ATX, and micro ATX. Actually, I think this stuff is listed on the other side a bit better. Yes, all right. So for expansion bays, right here we have a 5 5¼ inch bays, 5 3.5 inch bays, and 7 PCI expansion slots. As mentioned, the 4 USB, eSATA, and SATA on the top, audio mic, card reader. And for the included fans, we have 140 millimeter, 120 millimeter, 2 120 millimeters, and then finally that dual 80 millimeter side fan solution that they've set up for the video cards. And that about does it for our features listed on the box. Let's go ahead and pull this out. Alright guys, so there is the Sente Burton unboxed. This is the black version. The model number is GS6500. There's also a GS6500B, which is blue, and a GS6500R, which is red. And those have some red and blue accents on the front with the mesh. You can check out the product tour images for those if you want to get a better look. Apart from the coloration, everything else should be the same. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with our front panel controls that we have up here. Your power light, it has a red ring around that, also a hard drive activity light right there. We have 4 fan controllers right here. These are just on-off switches. They don't control speed, but 4 fan controls there, so you can turn those on and off. There's your reset switch. There's a sliding hidden panel that will reveal 1, 2, 3, 4 USB 2.0 ports. Here's a mic and a headphone to run back to your audio card. There's also an eSATA port right there, and they've also provided a serial ATA power and data bracket just for a standard serial ATA device, so you can mount something right there if you want to do it temporarily, just to copy some files or that sort of thing. But nice to have both those options right up front. Finally, hidden recessed back there is your multi-card reader. Also nice to have that right up there up front where you can access it easily. Finally, up on top there is a very long mesh screen section there for airflow. Sorry to say this is not removable, although you probably could. I just don't think it's meant to be. It's attached by some plastic brackets in there. If you really wanted to get it off, I'm sure you could, but should be easy enough to clean as is. You know, let's go back to the front because I didn't talk about our front panels. Here are our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 front panel slots for 5¼ inch drives. Down here in the front is a intake for the fan that is right behind there. Over on this side, it's our side panel. This has another intake there. There's a couple fans behind that will route air over your video cards. Both side panels are held on by thumb screws, which I always seem to drop, just like that. So not too bad to get it off. It has a little latch handle right there that keeps it in place. And there's the side panel itself with the pass-through there. It does have a bit of mesh screening over it to keep your components a little bit cooler. And there's a look at the interior of the case, which I'm going to dive into in just a second, but let's finish off the exterior first. Here's the back. You can see we have a 120 millimeter fan right there. There's your input-output shield. There's a couple ports here, grommets for routing water cooling cables. Here are your 7 PCI Express expansion bays, and there is your power supply mount right down there at the bottom. To complete our overview of the outside, this is the opposite side panel. It's got another latch mechanism there, just like that panel there, so also held on with thumb screws to pop that off. And then finally, we cannot forget the bottom, where you can see a couple rubberized, looks like 6 rubberized feet there. They are yeah, got a little bit of cushion there so you can reduce some vibration. And then finally a little, looks like plastic screen there to protect your air intake coming in from the bottom of the case, and very good amount of airflow spacing there, so you can have lots of air flowing. Of course, that is what airflow is for. All right, here's our interior of the case. Here is our boxes of accessories, and let's take a closer look at these. First off, this is some Sente NVIDIA co-opted marketing materials with some pictures of their lines of products. This is a product warranty card. This is the actual manual for your Burton Extreme Edition case. Includes an exploded view of everything that comes with it. Also some color pictures showing you the 3.5-inch hard drive cages, the 5 1/4-inch optical drive cages, card readers, front panel connector area there, as well as a description of all of the front panel items that we already went over. Oh, and of course there is, I don't know if you can get the blue and the red versions there. Black, red, and blue. And I'm sure we will have product images on the red and blue version pages as well, if you guys want to take a closer look. All right, here's our box of accessories. We have a mysterious Sony DVD CDR, which I'm sure has maybe some software on it, possibly drivers. Who knows? It is not labeled. Next up is an extension cable. This is just a serial ATA power and data extension cable, and my assumption is that you are intended to use this with the serial ATA power and data plugs that are right up here at the front. That way you can plug those in and have an extension and set your drive that you're connecting wherever you want it to be. All right, that is the accessories in this little box. There's one other accessory box right here that's actually attached to the case. It's kind of built in. But, all right, we've dallied too long. Let's move ahead with our interior overview. All right, so this is the extra little bracket that they've added, and it's got two 80mm fans installed, just like that. The fans will actually turn on and off. The nice thing about it is that the cabling goes through this bracket right here, so the fans automatically turn off if they're running when you open this bracket and turn back on when you close it. They do light up. They're LED fans that provide some additional airflow over your video cards. Here we can see all of our front panel connectors, which I will try my best to separate out. You have two serial ATA data cables there, and that is for your eSATA and your serial ATA bracket on the front. This is this looks like a USB ground and data cable, so you run that to one of your USB headers. Here are your HD audio and AC97 audio cables for the front panel mic and headphone jacks, whatever the case may be, depending on what your video or your audio card uses. One more USB header for the other two USB ports. Here are all your front panel connectors. It's nice that they've sort of, I won't call this braided, there's some plastic wrapped around these though that keeps them a little bit tidier than usual, so that's nice. And finally we have a single Molex power plug, and that is for the lighting equipment that's on the front of the case there. All right, now if we can get a close-up of the case itself, we can see here our motherboard tray. They have provided a fairly generous cutout here for installing aftermarket heatsink fan. We can also see over on this side there are several well-spaced holes for routing your cables for your motherboard's power and data. A couple up the side here, one down there on the bottom, and then back here also for routing the power and data cables coming from your hard drives. Moving up here to this section, we can see our optical drive and hard drive cages. These both have a sort of unique locking system. So this one's pretty basic. This is for the optical drive. They say ODD lock on them. It snaps in like that, and a couple plastic prongs go in and hold the drive in place. Just push down on that and it pops up, and then you can install your optical drive. And all, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 5 1/4-inch bays come installed with that. Next here is this whole section, which I really like. I feel like they've done a pretty good job with this. It's a unique design. It is hiding our front panel fan, which I hope you guys can see. It's right up here. And that is a 140 millimeter fan on the front. And then here is our hard drive cage. You notice it's really easy. It's just on a little rail system, and you just pull that prong down. You can pop the entire hard drive cage out. Along with that, each of these little hard drive boxes is individually self-contained. So you'll notice each tray here has a little spring-loaded mechanism, so you pop it back in there, and it locks into place. You push on that, and it will pop out for you. These hard drive trays are compatible with both 3.5-inch hard drive, and they also have mounting points down here on the bottom. If you're installing an SSD, you can also install a 2.5-inch hard drive. Same with all of those cages. So there are your 5 hard drive cages. And am I done? I think that just about... Oh, wait, we forgot the toolbox. All right, our toolbox locks into place like that, pops right out. This is just a little accessory toolbox, and if you guys thought that the cardboard box that I opened earlier was missing some stuff, it's probably in here. This is assuming, of course, that I can open it. There we go. All right, so we have a little case wiping cloth, so you can keep your case nice and clean. Here are your motherboard standoffs and mounting screws. Here is a speaker for your motherboard if you want to plug that in so you can get your post beeps. Here's an extra PCI Express bay cover. They have a couple plastic motherboard standoffs if you wanted to use those, and they've also included a little Phillips head screwdriver. So you have essentially most of the components that you need here for building a computer. That is assuming, of course, that all you need is the Phillips head, but nice to have that little add-on accessory box right there, and the ability to actually latch it in place means that you'll always know where your hardware is. And there we go. Actually, the one thing I think I might have neglected to mention is back here at the back, we also have some toolless brackets here for your PCI slots. I think I need to turn our case a little bit more. Aha, there we go. All right, so see these red brackets here? They just pop out like that and lock into place. You push on the rounded section there, and that lets you release these. So essentially you have a toolless mounting solution here for your PCI Express brackets as well. You can use that in tandem with the bolts if you want, or just all alone if you don't need to have it that secure. A side note, if you are mounting video cards, I usually recommend to mount them with the actual bolts rather than using the plastic brackets. And that pretty much wraps it up. Once again, this has been the Burton GS6500 Black computer case made by Sente. My name is Paul. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time on Newegg TV.